Hi, my beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, 𝕻𝖊𝖉𝖎𝖆, and we're back out today with another video. So today, I'm doing a very long set. Right now, I'm just pushing back her cuticles. This just exposes all of like the new growth and stuff, and you're also just getting that dead skin off of the nail plate. If you can hear a fan in the background, I apologize, but it's super hot in here. Anyways, so right now I'm taking my sanding bit on the lowest speed, and we are just buffing her nail. We are taking the shine off of her nail plate. Shine causes lifting, so you want to make sure that you remove all of that shine off of the nail. When I'm doing this, it may look like I'm doing it really hard, but I promise I'm not. You just want to do this ever so slightly, and you also want to make sure that you're also getting around those sidewalls, because yeah, those sidewalls is where the lifting really be happening. So you want to make sure that you're actually like getting in the sidewalls. When you're using your e-file to do this, just make sure, I don't know if you guys saw, but I always take my file and rub up against the edge of my sanding bit, just so it doesn't cause any like cuts or anything. Before I started doing this, I used to always like cut my clients from my sanding bit, and yeah. And I'm just gonna do this for the rest of her fingers, obviously. Yeah. And when you're doing anything while doing nails, just do everything all at once. If you're buffing on one hand, do it on the other. So now I'm going in with my cuticle bit, and this just gets all the dead skin. I prefer using this over cuticle nippers because I feel like it gets everything that I don't even see. So yeah, when it comes to acrylic, like the slightest bit of something left over on the nail plate can cause lifting. So I just prefer just to use my e-file for everything because it gets the job done. That's just my personal preference. What works for me may not work for you, so keep that in mind. These cuticle bits I get from Amazon. You can find them on eBay, or even AliExpress has them as well. So yeah. And again, I always say this, when you're using this cuticle bit, just make sure that you're not staying in one space, one area when you're doing it, because you can cause a dent in your client's nail, or your nail if you're doing this for your nail yourself. Also, sometimes if it's just like one piece that is not coming up, I'll turn the speed up on my e-file to get the skin that's left over. So now we're going into tips. These tips, somebody asked me in my last video, I think, where I get my tips from. These tips are actually from my local nail supply store. As you guys know, I've been saying I'm going to open my own store very soon, but I'm really trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before I do that, just to make sure that my store is not a flop. Like, let's be honest. So yeah, I'm using my Young Nails glue. I like this glue. I like that it's brush on. I used to use KDS glue, but I feel like the little bottles will always dry up before I would go back to use the other one. So when you're sizing tips, you want to make sure that it's going sidewall to sidewall. You don't want it to be too too small, or too big. You want to make sure that it's just right. Like, what's it called? Goldilocks. It's not too hot, not too cold, but just right. Anyways, I'm tired. So yeah, you just want to make sure that you're also putting the tip on straight. I'm really trying to get better at this with putting my tips on straight and making sure my client's hand is straight. So now we are cutting. Wait, I can't see. Oh no, we're double tipping. So sorry. So we're double tipping her nails because she wants them extremely long. This is the first time that I'm ever doing somebody's nails that are this long. So what I'm doing now is I actually did cut the tips of her nails off, cut her tips, the sides of her nails, just to like get some of the work done for me. But when you're filing and shaping really long nails, you just want to make sure that you're holding onto the nail so you don't cause like any breaks for the artificial nail, and you don't want to cause any discomfort for her either. And right now I'm just like getting any excess nail off. I'm also blending in the tip because I already explained this in my previous video. You just want to make sure that you blend the tip, because sometimes when you apply the tip, there's some like air pockets that may be there, because it happens. Sometimes the tip doesn't always get on there directly. So I just like to do this process just because it gets that off, and that can cause lifting as well. There's a bunch of things that can cause lifting with nails, and it's so irritating. Am I right or am I right? Anyways, so right now what I'm doing is I turned her hand over, just so you can see like how her nails are looking. Are they straight? Do I need to file in one space here or there? This really helps to see what she sees, because my view may be different from her view. Like they always do that. They always turn around their hand to see like what their hand is looking like. So I would just do this just so you can see your client's hand. What are they seeing? Just to make sure that it looks good. And yeah, I say this all the time. Make sure you fix your nails. Make sure you can fix your client's nails before they see it, because they will bug you. Anyways, right now I'm just putting her hands together just to size everything up. I was watching a video, I don't know who it was, but she suggested that you cut one hand a little longer after you size the hand that she wants that length, so everything matches up really perfectly. Right now I'm just taking my manicure brush, and I'm like, it's alcohol. I'm just getting all the debris and stuff off. I always do this. It just helps to ensure that there's no lifting, there's nothing on her nail or anything. So right now I'm taking 𝕻𝖊𝖈 dehydrator. I've been using this. Yeah, it's nothing like special. I just use it. Dehydrator is dehydrator. You can, if you don't have dehydrator, you can simply just use alcohol, but I use both because it really gets the nail dehydrated. So right now I'm going in with Young Nails primer. I actually just got my Valentino package in today, so I may start using that. I don't know. I don't know. This monomer I get from my local nail supply store. So yeah. So right now we are putting a small layer of acrylic. You want to do this when you're using colored acrylic, just because when you don't, there's a possibility that you can cause lifting, because colored acrylic has a bunch of pigment into it that's mixed with regular acrylic. So you just want to make sure that you put a small layer of acrylic down, and it protects the nail, because sometimes colored acrylic can stain the nail. So it's just a lot of factors that you just should take this step. Also, when I go to file this away, she doesn't get like fill-in. She gets fresh sets. Oh my gosh, why can't I say it? Fresh sets. All right, fresh sets. She gets fresh sets every time, so this really doesn't apply to her. But yeah, when I go to file, if she were to get a fill-in, it would be much easier to do it with this small layer down, because when I go to file, I won't be touching her nail. Like, there will be a small layer of acrylic already there, and I'm just filing down. But honestly, for me, I don't even think that I would want to do fill-ins for long nails, because that would take forever. Like, it would take a really long time. So that may not be a thing for me. I know some people do it, but who really has time for that? What do y'all think? Like, do y'all do fill-ins for really long nails? That seems like it takes forever. I'm just being honest. All right. So again, you guys know that some of my acrylic powders are from this Vietnamese man that I met on Facebook. He sold me a bunch of powders, and yeah, these powders, most of them are really, really good. This red is my favorite. If I can find the brand, which I can't on like Google, like it's no point of telling you what brand it is because I can't even find it on Google. So it's kind of pointless. So I actually used to, you know, for my colored powders, I would just like use a small layer and encapsulate it with clear powder, but honestly that takes too long. So if you're just using like a solid color of acrylic, a colored acrylic, you might as well just build that nail up with the colored acrylic. It'll be so much easier. It'll definitely take up less of your time. So yeah, this nail, all the nails that I decided to do this red, I just built the nail up with the red and it was fine. And doing long nails is the same process, you know, as doing any other nail. You still want to do that 3 or 4 ball method just so everything is equal. I swear by the 3 ball method, like it helps. Don't be going out here trying to do the 1 ball method, 1 beat method, because yeah, no. And I always tell you guys to wipe your sidewalls when you're building up your nail so you can keep that shape. When you don't do this, it's much harder to go back in and refile everything, and it'll take up your time. So you want everything aligns together when doing nails. Like every step goes with another step. And I tried to slow this down so you guys could actually see, but this video was taking too long. It's like it's already 40 minutes, so yeah, no. I'm using patting motions. I only use swiping motions when it's time to take some of the acrylic off of the nail. When you swipe too much, you're taking too much of the product off of the nail. So just keep that in mind. You want to use the belly of your brush to pat the acrylic down. It takes some getting used to because honestly, it's kind of easier to spread the acrylic like wiping it, but you don't want to do that because it'll take most of the acrylic off. And then that's a waste of time because then you still have to go back in and build the nail. On my nail techs washing, what do you guys use to prep with Valentino? I seen one girl, she used no lift primer. So I don't know what I want to use. I think I might try no lift primer. I know some people like their primer. I don't know. But again, everything works. Like, it's so annoying that different things work for other people. So, yeah. It's irritating. And once the acrylic dries, it's just a habit of mine. I go over my finger and just check to see if there's anything, like anywhere I need to add more acrylic to, because yeah. Alright, so I did the red acrylic on her thumb as well, but again, this video is taking a really long time, so I cut it out. But right now, what we are doing is we are taking this Cover Pink acrylic. I have no idea where I purchased it from. Like, the stuff on the side is wiping off, so I apologize. But right now, we are just building, I don't know what it's called. I guess this would be a C curve. No, it wouldn't be a C curve. Yeah, I don't know. We are doing a French tip. So I'm just building up that, like, I really don't know the technical, I don't remember the technical term for this name. So we're just gonna rock with it. But what I did was I pretty much drained my brush, so the acrylic would be much more easier to mold and move around. So yeah. And you're just using your brush to kind of like get that nice, like, U, I guess. And whenever you're doing one nail, like if you're doing art on one nail, you can always go to the other nail to work on that hand. One thing that I should have just did all nails that I was going to do red, do on both hands, come back and do everything else that I would have probably taken less of my time. Right now we are marbling. We're taking 3 different colors: red, white, and black. And I wanted everything to kind of like marble together, but this looked pretty cool. So I was like, oh, let me just do the red and the white, and then the white and the black, and then the red and the white, and the white and black. So all I'm doing is taking a very wet bead. Just keep in mind when you're doing this, you want to use a very light hand. You're not like being handsy with your acrylic. Don't do too much because you'll move too much of the acrylic around. So just be careful. Like even I was starting to mess it up. So just be mindful when you're doing it. All right, so now I'm just taking my file and I'm kind of just like rounding it out a little bit more. It's funny because I actually forgot to do this on the other hand, and I just took my manicure brush to wipe off some of the dust so I could see. So yeah, that's all we're doing. And now we're taking some alcohol on a manicure brush and wiping that dust off so I can lay my red acrylic. I was going to like marble the tip, but at this point I just wanted it to be over with because long nails take a really long time, especially if you don't do them often. One thing I will say to like get your speed up is if you don't take your time for each step. Like sometimes I don't have a client directly after each client, so I kind of take my time with each set, but that's not really helping me with speeding up my time when it comes to nails. So what I actually might start doing is acting like each time I have a client, just, you know, acting like I have somebody afterwards. And all you're doing, it's okay, by the way, if you get the red over the light pink. As long as it's like not too much, you're fine because it'll file away anyway. Alright, so now that I finished everything, I'm going back and encapsulating this nail, just because there's like multiple acrylics. So you just want to make sure that you cap this, because if not and you go into file, one, it'll be extremely bumpy, and two, because you'll file everything away. I forgot the second reason. That was funny to me just now. With this, I kind of built up too much acrylic, so it was a little thick, so I had to go in and file a little bit extra off. So just be mindful of that. All right, so now we are pushing back her skin a little bit so I can see where I need to file. And I'm just taking my hand file. I'm actually switching to a sharper one because her nails are long and I was honestly trying to hurry up by this point. And I use my hand file to file the side walls to straighten everything up. Also, sometimes if there's like a big lump in the nail, and sometimes it is, like it happens, especially with colored acrylic because you can't really see, I will take my hand file over it because it's easier for me to do that rather than taking my e-file and going over it like 10 times. It's just much easier to use my hand file. And you're actually going underneath the nail as well to get any acrylic that may have seeped over underneath. So yeah, so right now I'm just reshaping. That's really it. It's nothing special. Okay, so right now I'm taking my sanding bit and I'm going around the cuticle area because sometimes there's acrylic that you can't see that may be on top of the skin. So I just go around the cuticle area very ever so slightly, like very soft. I'm not doing too much with it. So now we're going in with my medium grit file and we are just sanding down her nail, like her fingers, to get them nice and smooth. Medium grits work for me. I like them. It's not too coarse where it takes down, like it debulks the acrylic, but this is just like making sure everything is nice and smooth. Again, this bit is from my local nail supply store, so I cannot tell you where I got it from. You would have to call them and ask where they get their products from. And with this, you're just like moving your e-file like back and forth just so it can get nice and smooth. And I always go in with my finger to see where I need to file more at. And as you see, I keep going back and forth just to kind of debulk this nail because I did kind of like build it up too much. So yeah. And also what I do is I go on the free edge. You see me doing that, like it gets like that nice curve on the edge of the nail. I hate when it looks bulky. So right now I'm just taking my buffer and we're literally done here. I may go back in a little bit with my file just to like, you know. But yeah, your girl is buffing the nails, and this is just making it nice and smooth. Sometimes with darker colors, you can really see the file lines. So if it is really rough and it looks like really coarse on the nail, you can just take a little bit of cuticle oil and apply it to the nail to, you know, help it. But guys, this concludes this video. If you have any questions for me, feel free to comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys dearly. Bye bye.